Some memories are soft, hazy things that float at the edges of your mind. Others are branded onto you, sharp and clear, a constant reminder of a moment that changed you. This story, this one was a brand. It's the story of the difference between a mess and a mess of love, and how I had to learn that lesson the hard way on a Tuesday afternoon that felt like the end of the world when I almost crushed the kindest heart I have ever known, my son's. It had been one of those days. I think we all have a file for them in our brains. It started small, as they always do. I'd spilled coffee on the one clean blouse I had planned to wear for a big Zoom call. A minor inconvenience, but it was the first crack in the dam. Then came the call itself. My biggest client, the Henderson account, sent back our Q2 presentation for the third time. The email was cold, impersonal, just a list of failures. My boss was not happy. I spent the next 3 hours scrambling, fixing, apologizing, toggling between my professional self, who had to be calm and competent, and the internal self that was just screaming. The drive home was my surrender. The rain was hammering against the windshield, a perfect pathetic fallacy for my mood. I tried to listen to a podcast on mindfulness, the narrator's calm voice telling me to be present in the moment. But the only thing I was present in was the tight band of stress around my chest and the headache blooming behind my eyes. By the time I walked through my front door, my social battery wasn't just low, it was shattered. All I craved was silence, order, a small pocket of the universe that I could control. And for a moment, I had it. After putting away the groceries and answering one final passive-aggressive email, I cleaned the living room. It became my meditation, wiping down the coffee table, fluffing the pillows, vacuuming until every line was perfect. It was my small, desperate victory against the chaos of the day, my little island of calm. I stood there for a second, breathing in the smell of lemon polish, and thought, okay, I can do this, I can survive. And then I saw it. I turned the corner into the dining area, and my breath caught in my throat. It wasn't just a mess. It was a glitter-bombed, paper-shredded, glue-smeared apocalypse. And right in the middle of it, sitting on my clean floor, was my 5-year-old son, Leo. He was completely absorbed, snipping away at a piece of bright blue construction paper. My mind went blank. All the stress from the client, a boss, the traffic, the headache, it all coalesced into a single white-hot point of rage. And a battle started in my head. A part of my brain, the rational, loving part that I know is my true self, it whispered, "He's just being a kid. Look closer." But the other part, the exhausted, overwhelmed lizard part of my brain, that part was a roaring inferno. It screamed, "I cannot take one more thing. I have nothing left to give. I just cleaned this. Why does no one respect me? I cannot clean one more mess." And I let the loud part win. My voice was a weapon. It was sharp, cold, and loud enough that the sound itself felt like it was breaking something in the quiet room. "Leo, what have you done? Look at this. I just cleaned this entire room. I work all day, and this is what I come home to? Just go. Go to your room now." The silence that followed was worse than the yelling. It was a thick, ringing silence, heavy with the words I had thrown into the air. He flinched, his small shoulders hunching up to his ears as if to protect himself from the sound of my voice. He turned to look at me, and his face, it wasn't defiant, it was terrified. And that terror was mixed with something else, something I couldn't understand at that moment. Pride. His little hands, smudged with glue and sparkling with glitter, were holding up a crumpled, messy piece of paper. His voice was a tiny, trembling whisper that barely cut through the silence. "But Mommy, it's for you." And that's when I saw it. I mean, I really saw it. My eyes refocused as if a spell had been broken.
The chaos of paper scraps resolved into a single object. It wasn't just a mess, it was a card. A piece of blue construction paper folded unevenly. On the front, a lopsided heart made of silver glitter, still wet with glue. And inside, drawn in crayon, was a stick figure family, a tall one, a small one. And above it, in his clumsy, backward lettered handwriting, were 3 words: I love you, Mom. The rage inside me didn't just fade, it evaporated. It was replaced by a wave of shame so cold and heavy it buckled my knees. I had to grab onto the doorframe to keep from falling. He hadn't been making a mess. He'd been spending who knows how long creating a physical manifestation of his love for me. He was making love visible, and I had mistaken it for rebellion. I had screamed at a gift. I fell to my knees on that glittery floor, the sharp edges of the paper scraps pressing into my skin. I pulled him into my arms and just sobbed, not quiet tears, but the ugly, gasping sobs of a broken heart. I kept saying it over and over, my voice muffled in his hair. I'm so sorry, baby. I am so, so sorry. Mommy was wrong. He just hugged me back, his small arms a strong anchor in my storm of guilt. After a moment, he pulled away, looked at my tear-streaked face, and asked with the purest sincerity, It's okay, Mommy. Did the card make you happy? And I cried even harder. After we both calmed down, we sat on the floor together, and I asked him to tell me about the card. He pointed out every detail. The big yellow circle was the sun. The little brown blob was our dog. The glitter was a happy explosion because I was his best mom. We put it right in the center of the fridge, the messiest, most beautiful masterpiece I had ever seen. That was the day I learned the most important lesson of my life. That was the day I understood the real meaning of a mess of love. So, why do we do this? Why do we, as mothers who would walk through fire for our children, have these moments where we break? I've thought about it a lot since that day. It's because we're not just reacting to the mess on the floor. We're reacting to the invisible mess inside us, the exhaustion, the pressure, the loneliness. The glitter on the carpet becomes the trigger for a much bigger emotional detonation. But the secret I learned, the real key of motherhood, isn't about avoiding those explosions altogether. We are human, and we will fail. The key is in the repair. The moment you get on your knees and apologize, you teach your child something more important than keeping a clean house. You teach them that love isn't about being perfect. It's about being humble. It's about being strong enough to say, I'm sorry. The repair is what strengthens the bond that the rupture threatened. It shows them that love can mend anything. I keep that card on my desk to remind me of that lesson every single day. Now, I want to hear from you. What was a moment your child or someone you love taught you an unforgettable lesson about what really matters? Share your story in the comments below. Let's talk about it. You are not alone in this.